Welcome back to the Yukon Gold podcast with Will S. On this podcast, uh, we are creating a sustainable future for everyone on planet Earth. We help people to reach their full potential by delivering the gold standard in sustainable energy design, education, and installation. We are focused on alternative ways of living your life, going back to the land, getting off the grid, and reducing your reliance on the government, big oil, pharmaceutical companies. Essentially, the idea of becoming sovereign. I could start calling this the Yukon Gold Sovereignty Podcast. I might in the future. It's a record of my journey towards becoming a sovereign individual within Canada. And I would like to help other people discover the same truths that I have about the world, about the way that we live our lives within Canada as citizens, we're citizens of Canada, or at least I am. But ultimately, we're actually free beings that we were given divine freedom and dominion over land, earth, and air. Land, earth, and air. Land, earth, and water. Land, earth, and water. But what happened is that those things that were granted to us, they were taken away from us in a very clandestine fashion. And I really, I'm working towards building a sustainable future here for everyone on planet Earth. Like the vision for my life and the vision for this podcast is very far-reaching. Again, always trying to find the like-minded individuals, the altruistics, and the Yukon Gold Energy Partnership is really about creating those networks of networks. We have come to a bit of a tipping point, to put it mildly, on the human condition on this planet. There is a large body of people and a large body of thinking, saying that we should just fall in line and do what we're told and believe what we're told and don't question things. Unfortunately, or fortunately, for some of us, that's just not a possibility. Like my dad likes to say, once you've gone beyond Spock, there's no going back. And at a certain point in your life, when you've woken up or you've had an awakening, as they call it, there's no, it's like in the Matrix when you take the red pill, like Morpheus says, there is no there's no turning back. That red pill unlocks an entirely new world, an entirely new way of thinking. And if you want to reclaim your sovereignty on this planet, you need to be well versed in a lot of different areas, myself included. Having technical skills, technical background is helpful, right? If you know how to take apart machinery, put it back together again, you know that you won't, be for lack of equipment, once you're out in the field. If you know how to build your own power systems, if you know how to grow food sustainably year round, that is ultimately what we need to be able to do. At a certain point in time here, I fully believe that the global infrastructure is going to be orchestrated in a way that there will be haves and have-nots. There already are, to a lesser extent. There is a real push right now for population control, population containment. If you try to follow any mainstream media source, it's just going to give you a 24/7 news cycle of COVID disasters. They're calling this the pandemic of the unvaccinated, which is it's good PR, or good. It's bad PR, but it's a good soundbite. If you are following alternative news sources, countries like Israel, with over 80% vaccination rates, have some of the highest COVID counts in the world, because the spike protein mRNA in the vaccine is running rampant throughout their cellular systems. I will put links in the description to the different sources of information that you need to update yourself on if you are a truth-seeking person. Again, the focus of this podcast today is my journey to become sovereign in my own life. Right now, I am receiving increasing pressures to take the jab, and I've come to the conclusion that I can't do it in good conscience. I don't truly believe in the safety of the vaccinations, and I have just, from a personal, ethical, moral, and psychological, spiritual, moral perspective, it just doesn't sit right with me what's going on and what the powers that be are doing to control the population. It's not a popular opinion. I've never been a popular person. If anyone knows me from high school or back in the day, I used to generally sit in the back of the class and just do my work and go home. Classic story is that I used to have no friends. Well, it was just that having fake friends or friends that aren't worth my time was just never part of my life, and I'm still like that to today. If you are an altruistic, and you have a soul, then if you have any amount of moral fiber or integrity, and if you've just done a little bit of digging, you know that this is not the way. It's not in the way with the Tao Te Ching. It's not in the way with any formal religion. It goes against the grain of natural born human being. Again, you are going to be tested. I am being tested. Like, our resolves are all being tested. If you want to become sovereign, there are legal ways of doing it. I am going through that process right now. There are places, there are people and places where they can help you out with the mountains upon mountains of paperwork in order to get that process started. I'm not going to go into too many details about it right now, just because I don't know enough about it to be a relative expert. But by the end of the year and by the beginning of 2022, that process for me will be started. And it will be, a potential service in the future I will be offering to people once I go through the process within Canada, because that's the thing. A lot of the stuff is more Eurocentric, like based in the United Kingdom, where a lot of the old money and the old central banking system still exists. Currently, there are, if you know anything about world history, there are currently 3 seats of power within the world. One is the Vatican, the second is the City of London, and then the third is Washington, D.C. And these are all individual plots of land that sits outside of the jurisdictions of the country in which they reside. It's a legal fiction. It's a legal distinction. And if you become a lawyer in London, you have to take the bar. It's still something that I'm going through, still learning about more. I don't want to put out disinformation about it all. I will do more of a follow-up podcast. Maybe this will be part of a series, like, let's say, the Yukon Gold sovereignty series. It'll be a separate list on the podcast. It'll be a separate list on my YouTube channel. I did want to give a little bit of an update of what's going on with me. As you know, I did relocate to the Yukon in order to establish a residency here. My understanding that the legal definition, let's look at the legal definition of residency. So in order to, again, go the definition, place in which one reside, the dwelling, act, or period of residing in a place, medicinal residency. So yeah, I'm establishing a residency here in order to be eligible for funding, grants, working towards the long-term vision, 7 to 10 year plan for Yukon Gold. Again, I'm always looking for partners, like all true partners in this venture, people with technical skills. Either that being in trades, whether that being in the medical profession, the legal profession, if you're into real estate like I am, I would like to have some real estate counsel on my side moving forward. this is, again, it's Yukon Gold is never been about me. It's more of a cooperative. It's a cooperative venture. So if you are an all true, and the definition basically for me means that if you're about service to a higher purpose than yourself, and you are not necessarily out there just to get as much as you can for as little as possible, get in contact with me. I do not have patience for people who are self-serving. It is really this world. There's more than enough in this world to go around. There's an abundance. I'm trying my very best to live from an abundance mindset, and that's the type of people that I want to attract. So again, if you are out there and you want to learn more about sovereignty, going back to the land, getting off the grid, stop being a slave to the society, the system, and ultimately you want to become sovereign, Yukon Gold and this podcast is the community for you. I also work in junction with the Doomer Bloomer podcast and the Daily Taoist. All three of these podcasts, all three of these movements, if you will, are part of a larger picture. We are born free, and then 3 days later after you're born, your birth certificate gets registered, your parents sign it, and you are now a legal fiction. And the global banking system basically owns your labor from the day you're born until the day you die. If you want to get outside of that, please get in contact with me. I will put the relevant links in the description to the things that I'm talking about in order to get that process started. Again, I'm just going through it myself, and this is a way for me to document that process and that journey. And if I can help somebody else attain the same level of knowledge or better, and if I can attract the people, the money, if you will. Money is just energy, right? If you really think about it, it's just currency. It's just current flowing to the sea. Right? It's just an exchange of value for either time or service or a product. That's all currency is, right? That's why there's such a big push right now to decentralize fiat currency. Once again, just to be perfectly clear, I am not anti-vax. I am pro-freedom. I am pro-human potential. And I am pro-human spirit of mind, body, and soul. If those are things that you resonate with and you want to learn more about them, I encourage you to check out my body of work, including the Yukon Gold podcast and the Doomer Bloomer podcast and the Daily Taoist. Those are my three major outlets. Always looking for creative collaborations. Once again, always looking for sponsorships with people who have an all-true nature. Give me a shout out at all those platforms. You can find me mostly at my Twitter at Yukon Gold Podcast, on Instagram, Facebook. Those are all my socials. Same with the Doomer Bloomers on all majors, and same with the Daily Taoist. Again, I will link all these descriptions into the podcast. Again, please help support the channel by subscribing, following, and generally waking up to the reality in the world that we live in. I love each and every one of you on this planet. Have yourself a great and prosperous day. Namaste, Will S.